All right.
Okay? Now, 11 toxic double standards in relationships, okay?
Okay.
Making the first move.
Okay.
Being possessive about your partner. Hiding feelings. Bringing up insecurities.
Oh, well, let's go back to hiding the feelings. Let's
Okay,
go back to
wait. Before now,
Oh, you want to hear all of them?
Before you go into hiding feelings, let me just say what it says about that. Then,
All right.
okay. Number 3, hiding feelings.
Yeah.
Open communication is one of the key attributes of these characteristics of a healthy relationship. For an everlasting relationship, it is necessary for a couple to be open about their feelings.
All right.
But there is a double standard.
There's a double standard.
That makes a healthy relationship toxic, i.e., hiding feelings.
Listen, that puts a man at a disadvantage because especially a black man.
Naturally.
Because naturally a black man
doesn't talk about his feelings.
And this is not something that why? The reason why is because we're conditioned to. Because
dropping everything all over the place.
Cooler ass.
Because we're conditioned
Facts.
to be weak, pretty much.
Because you either going
if you talk about your feelings as a black man, look, you about to do the same thing.
Go. Why?
As a black man, when you talk about your feelings, you're considered weak. When
you get picked on for that.
Right. When you express how you feel, and it's not like, I'm fucking Brutus, the fucking, the big fucking chest.
Right. You gotta walk around like you gotta walk around with your chest out. You gotta be the tough guy all the time.
If you're not that dude,
like you're Popeye.
Right, like you gotta be
hasn't
tough.
had his spinach yet.
Right.
Like he don't know, like, I don't know that bitches want me. I'm so innocent and a nice guy.
I don't know how relationships work.
If you're not that dude,
I ain't been that guy.
If you're not that dude, you're considered weak.
God, what you again?
And that shit is not
terrible.
cool.
It's and that's a big part right there, right? Because as men, we don't talk about our feelings, and then when we try to talk about our feelings, especially when it comes down to talk about our feelings with women, we feel insecure about talking about it because just like, yo, what are you talking about? Or when we're describing something, and this goes with communication, right? Like there's one thing that's picked out of everything we said, and you're focusing on that one thing versus the whole damn point that I just made.
Right.
So now I gotta go back and try to figure out, how do I make this make sense out of all the other shit that I said? Because what I said explained the shit that you're getting upset about or the shit that you don't understand. And that's one of the biggest double standards because let's call it
for a loco, please.
Let's call it what it is, right? Women talk about their feelings all the time. We hear about women, we hear about their feelings all the time, right?
But how I feel,
oh my God,
this and I felt
and
that.
what do we say? God damn, why the fuck you keep nagging me, bro? Like, fuck it. What the fuck what do you want from me? What?
You're really aggressive
hear
right
what
now.
I feel?
And then
do you want what I feel, or do you want to hear what I think about what you feel, or what I thought before you started fucking going off?
Man, just tell me what the fuck
about
you
what
feel.
the fuck you feel.
What the fuck going on? What is it?
Because the difference
Now,
is this
once we
as well.
do that.
Before you continue, there is a huge difference between what you think, right, intellectual,
right,
versus emotional, and then they both have their high points and their low points.
Right.
You can be intellectual and understand. Here's how I see it. I see this. Then you spill it too. Shut up. You see this. I see that. Here's how I see. Right. And then you feel this, and what you're feeling is making you think all this shit that it could maybe lead to that ain't even here yet.
Right.
I'm only focused on what's right here in front of me on the fucking battlefield, and you're like, but if you do this.
That's a great observation, bro.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Especially for a single man.
So what I want to hear about right now.
Observation, bro.
Now, both since the men agree with what I'm saying, and the men listening are going to, the most important thing for us is to wait a minute and see what the female perspective is. As much as
the female.
Now hold on.
As much as I feel like,
did you hear the bitch in his voice?
Now can I say this? Let me say one thing before you start talking. Right? Let me say one thing before you start talking.
Please keep it brief because we want her to say.
All right, I'm gonna keep it real brief. The biggest thing for also as a man is to actually the problem that, and just looking from the female's perspective, you can elaborate on it. I'm setting you up, right? I'm throwing the alley to you. Is how we come about talking about our feelings with y'all, because it typically, for the most part, it sounds aggressive. we're coming at you in an aggressive manner, like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you making me look stupid, this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. Like, why the fuck are you doing that? And so instead of, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Before you continue, what I want to say is, just so you know, what we're talking about is hiding feelings, right? There's supposedly about 11 toxic double standards in the relationship scene.
I agree.
And I went
real quick. Quick word from my sponsors because we need to do this. Let's get it popping. All right.
So we're talking about the 11 different double standards in the relationship scene. We landed on, what did we land on? We landed on hiding the feelings. Most men don't feel comfortable sharing their feelings, right? Because we feel like it could be a doorway to a lot of confusion and that our power can be usurped because we know that women have a larger emotional IQ than
a
us,
man, yeah.
and we have a larger typically intelligence quotient, right?
Yeah.
Than women.
Yeah.
Left brain versus right brain. So as a woman, how do you feel about that? Because all three of us, as the men on the podcast, we feel the same way. But I want to know how you feel about that. Hiding feelings.
Well, speaking for the dirty ass. I just want to let y'all know Jay Bonkers just now cleaned up liquor off the floor.
But you spilled.
And then licked his fingers. He is a dirty ass nigga.
It's my floor.
But it's okay. It's his floor and he's married, so
how about
no
this,
other
nigga?
woman
I
has
paid
to deal
mad
with
bands
that.
for this house. How about that?
What's him being married got to do with anything?
She got to deal with that dumb shit.
Hold on. How about this?
We're going off topic.
How about this?
All right.
How about this?
Let's
I
get
paid
back.
mad band. If I'm a dusty ass nigga, I paid mad bands for this house that I just licked the
You know what?
the soda
He's
off the
absolutely
floor.
right.
How about that?
Listen, him and his
Most of these dirty ass
fingers
niggas can't even afford
in
an
his
apartment.
poppin'
How about
ass
that?
house. His house is really nice, guys. Okay. Anyway, to give my perception of what that is, for the majority of women, men expressing themselves. I feel like men expressing themselves is really important. I feel like a lot of us as women, we need to be a bit more patient. You guys, I feel like, don't have to be so aggressive, but who am I to say that? If you're emotional in whatever state that you're in is whatever state that you're in, and you should be able to express it from wherever you're at. Right. For myself,
Me out. You're gonna try and single me out.
no, I am not singling you out because guess what?
Don't fight it.
You wasn't the one yelling and hollering just now, Taj.
Look, he's hurt. I'm trying to take the pressure off my brother. I'm trying to take the pressure off my brother. He's hurt right now.
Nah, it's okay.
I was supposed to be.
Oh, girl, you hurt me and you lied to me.
It's okay. It's okay. I do feel like I do agree. I feel like, we as women need to be a bit more patient with you guys. As far, the popcorn is fucking done, Jay.
Don't get thrown off. Come on, baby, please. 'Cause I need to move on to the next topic. Please,
anyway, all right. Yeah, I do feel like we need to be a bit more patient with you guys to allow you guys to be more emotional. And we can't dictate how you should express your emotions. As long as you being emotional is not physically damaging to the other person on a level where it becomes disrespectful, you guys should be able to express yourself. Me personally, I'm so fine with a guy expressing himself. I'm so fine with sitting and being a listener because at the end of the day, I am all about the bottom line.
Message.
Liar.
No, I am.
Chicks always sound good until they actually in a relationship.
No, I am.
Right.
No bullshit. This is why I call myself a phoenix, because when I go through these situations with men, they can't believe that I exist. I really listen. I really fucking listen. And as much as I talk and as much as I do, I am the most...
I need a friend to date her just so we can know if this is facts or not.
No, for real. I am the most... I am the biggest... Ain't nobody want your ass.
That's what they say when they want you the most. Go ahead. My insecurity is really... I'm so good. Go ahead. My confidence has risen. Go ahead.
Like the Christ.
Just like the Christ, I am. I proclaim. Like the phoenix itself, I rise from the ashes. Talk shit.
But can I finish though?
Nah.
Beyonce
Anyway, moving on.
Was the best.
Fuck what women have to say. What I'm saying is this.
But anyway, like I said, for myself, I am big on. I'm big on patience. You remember I told Taj that in the car on the way here. I have practiced patience with people. Because that's the only way you will really get to your bottom line. And I feel like
I know somebody trying to get to your bottom line.
Leave me out of the conversation. I'm just a good man. I'm trying to find Christ. All right.
Keep going.
That's it.
I'm saying
We need that.
you got me fucking snorting.
Before you on the coke, I can deal with that.
Oh my
Listen,
God,
I'm saying
no.
is this. Hold on.
I didn't mean it
Hold
like
on,
that.
Whitney.
Guys,
Slow down,
I
Miss
do
Houston.
not do coke.
I'll be a Bobby Brown.
The most drugs I do is hookah. All right, y'all.
All right, look, before we move on, because you know what it is? Really, the emotional aspect, there's so much to unpack there. It's very hard to maintain a focus to zero in on that, right? Whether you're a male...
But look, I do...
I'm going to move on to a different topic that we can really all zone in on. Trust me.
Okay.
It's very hard to zero in when we're talking about simply emotion.
Yeah.
And then the only way you can do that is to go completely intellectual, which doesn't address the issue. So we're going to move on. Most likely, this podcast will require a part 2, maybe 6 weeks from now.
It really will, because
but
You said 6 weeks.
in agreement to what you're saying,
Okay,
I totally... It's so funny because I agree with a lot of the things that you're saying. And
oh, I know.
I guess it's hard for me because I always come from an intellectual standpoint, because that's what I actually live. You get what I'm saying? There's some people who say that shit because it's right, but they don't live that shit. I actually fucking live that shit.
Which is like me, where I am, as much as I am intellectually haunted, I am much more driven. I am much more driven by my emotional side,
right?
Because I only want to use. I'm constantly fighting. Maybe it's a Pisces thing. I'm fighting, trying to understand my emotional. Yeah. To understand
you
my
guys
intellect, and my intellect to
because,
understand my emotional.
Because a little tip on I have a gift. I have the gift of prophecy.
Cap City.
I'm not lying.
Somebody says, okay.
I'm really not lying.
Please,
shut up.
Always jump to the mic
really
so you got
have,
something to say, bro.
I got you.
It's fucking
Go
big
ahead,
ass. Yo, I
Go ahead,
can't
Jimmy.
stand Taj.
Talk.
His big fine ass. Get out of here. It's fucking.
And I'm in there.
Nah, you too cloudy, my nigga. I'm on it. It's all good. Go ahead,
So that's
Queen.
the game we
Hey,
doing?
Queen, go off, Queen.
Anyway.
You gotta say Queen a couple times. To put it on track. Go ahead, Queen, go off.
You know what's funny? When niggas say queen, that shit does not make my pussy wet.
I know.
Oh, go ahead,
Really
broad.
don't.
It dries it up.
Because I've
Fuck what
already...
you got to say there,
No,
broad.
it really don't make my
dries
pussy
it up.
wet because I have already known that I was a queen. I know what you're doing.
Wait, hold up. Now that being said,
You saying
I'm about to move on.
You trying to make it wet?
I really need to move on to another subject that we can really utilize all of our point of views on.
Yeah, let's get
Because
there.
I'll be honest with you,
I want to get there.
Wait,
I wanna
right now
get
we
there.
stagnant as a motherfucker. So I gotta move on to the next thing, which is this. First, I'm gonna go through about 4 more topics.
Okay.
But the one that I think we need to focus on is demanding too much. But we have a list here of 11 different toxic double standards.
Okay.
Right? So demanding too much is what I think, but I want to say 2 more. Double standards in household chores, about yelling at each other, and the sex game.
Say that one more time.
The sex game.
Say the whole thing one more time.
Okay.
I want to make sure I get.
Okay, cool. Let me go all the way back. Demanding too much, double standards in household chores. Number 7 is about yelling at each other. And number 8, the sex game. Okay, now we're only going to spend a few moments on this, but the one I think that we can all use our superpowers on equally, and me being the sexiest, smartest, firest, most spiritual nigga in the building, I'm the one...
Jay Bonkers.
I'm the one to... No, Sel. I'm the one to talk about this.
Yo.
Demanding too much. Before we go, I want to say this. Demanding too much, right? a good relationship is all about making your partner happy.
Right.
Right? And it says here, but here's the tricky part. There is a fine line between asking for the right things and demanding too much. Ooh. Furthermore, a girl can easily ask for something she wants from her man, but when he does it, is he termed as controlling? There will be times when a girl acts like a princess and starts asking for too many things. Same way, guys will go every mile to fulfill her desires. Guys will go every mile to fulfill her desires because they know she's worth it.
Okay.
If for any reason a guy refuses to do what his girl says, it can put a full stop on the entire relationship.
Wait, so, if he does what a female asks him to do?
If he does every single thing.
Oh, they don't like that shit.
They don't respect
Women
you.
love turmoil. No. Women love turmoil. Am I right?
Women love when you say, bitch, no.
They like the idea of a thug, the idea of a tough motherfucker. You heard what he said? The idea of a motherfucker that's going to put them in their place. Right, because how many times...
The idea of it is still turmoil. Whether it's an idea or whether it's reality,
I get it.
It's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? They still have to go through the same emotions.
I get it.
You know, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
A motherfucker come to you and you with them and they cause you some type of shit and you're like, damn, this is fucked up.
Mm-hmm. By the way,
I just love this dude, man. But why is he doing this to me?
And look, an idea is this: a formulated thought or opinion, whatever is known or supposed about something, the central meaning or chief end of a particular action or situation, a plan for action, i.e. a design, a standard for perfection. So we're talking about the idea of something. We have the wrong idea even as it relates to our chief representation on earth. If you are brought up in this society.
I have to say you were so good at this.
Thank you.
You were so good at broadcast.
Thank you.
I'm lit. Podcast. I'm lit.
Thank you.
But you were so good at this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's beautiful. Even though I want to reject what you're saying because you're rejecting me. In some way, you're rejecting me for some tall ass nigga that I want to hate. But I want him to be my brother, so I'm trying not to hate him so much. But I hate
that's the problem right there. That's the problem with the black community right there.
Now,
don't hate me, brother, because she want me. I can't help that.
Just disclosure real quick.
I can't help that.
Me and him was sitting in the garage. This is when I was smoking weed heavy. Me and him was sitting in the fucking garage.
So good.
And we'll be smoking weed and we'll be talking about topics about shit.
Yeah.
And then we'll just be talking about, like, we should start a podcast. How long ago was that?
Bro, for years. Probably at least 4 or 5 years ago.
Longer than that? Longer than 2 years?
Longer than 2 years, bro. Definitely the last 2 years we've been really heavy.
We need to start a podcast.
No, he's a voice that I would religiously listen to.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you. That's beautiful.
Look, you got all kind of compliments. Now you feeling good.
Thank you.
Look, he blushing over there too. You can't even see it. You can't even see it.
From the one he wanted to flex.
Either, nigga. I came as this 5'11" nigga. Okay.
6'4".
But you know what? You know what, Selvin, we're celebrating you because I'm celebrating you being in a room full of inspiring and opinionated and individual black men. For me, is a privilege. Especially being here in Atlanta because coming from New York, I get that. That's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal thing.
It's an everyday thing, right?
It's an everyday thing.
But
because
here,
the city is a
difference?
place where you go to prove yourself. So New York City, everybody's busy proving themselves and being who they are or learning who they are. So to come to a city that's developing into that and to meeting people like that, that's so dope. And I appreciate what you're doing. I just want to lift you up as a black woman right now. I want to lift you up. So continue with your shady ass content, but it's okay.
Thank you. Now, I want to also disrespect you in a large way so that I don't lose my niggas out here that are so lost and hurt that they hate bitches. So I also disrespect her as much as I also accept what she said that lifted me up. Now,
Yo, she called you a black woman just now.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Y'all with me? She
Do
with
I need to run it back?
Iyanla?
I called him a black man. What's an opinion?
You said black woman.
As a black woman, meaning me.
Her perspective.
I'm celebrating him. Because that's what y'all complain about, right? Y'all complain about that black... Y'all complain that black women don't celebrate y'all. We don't support y'all.
That's a fact.
Okay, now.
So I'm
That's
supporting
a fucking
him.
fact. You hear me?
The fact that you didn't see that means I need to change your narrative a little bit
That's
more.
a little bit more, yeah.
Okay, wait. Now, thank you very much. Now, just to get back on topic, we're
Yes.
talking about...
I'm sorry.
What are we
It's the
talking about? Does
alcohol.
anybody remember what the main topic was? Do you remember?
What was the expectation?
No?
No.
No. What is
Look,
No.
let me tell you,
but it
Jimmy
could be
drinking
seen
4
like that,
Locos mixed with fucking Hennessy,
Look, you done
mixed
lost
with
the person on
Heinekens.
down. Look.
She threw a little bit of
How
Coronas
many
in there.
drinks have you had already?
Hold on, she threw a
you
Corona
good?
in there. She threw a little bit of fucking
And I'm not throwing
she
up
threw some
yet.
Long Island iced teas.
Listen,
inside
I
a
am
Hennessy
of
drink.
Irish and African
Mix-
descent. I can hold
How dare you claim Irish before you
No,
call
I
it
am.
African descent?
No, I
Go
am
off,
though.
King. Get the mic.
No, I am.
Pass the mic, baby. Pass the mic.
I am.
You don't do colonizers before you do your own black pride. What's wrong with you?
All right, let me switch my word just to make him feel comfortable. So I am of African and Irish descent
Ooh, there we go.
because that made him feel really good.
It did.
So I can hold my liquor.
I
I
can't
got a
hold
couple
on.
other things
so
you
I'm
can
about
hold,
to
but
go
listen, that's
another
besides the point.
Anyway, yes, we got to get back to the point. Sorry,
Yes. All right. So look, he got to scroll back up to get to the point, though.
I'll be honest. I forgot the point because when I get no. When I get compliments, I get thrown off because I'm so used to women going, "Excuse me, 5'11".
5'11"
Wait,
5'11".
you're 5'11" or you
Shithead.
5'9", 5'2"?
I see. That's why I hate about the 6'4" piece
I
of shit looking to make me feel insecure.
It's not insecure. No,
But I'm not
saying, like,
insecure,
yo,
so it doesn't fucking
right?
matter.
Exactly.
You see, at least
You're a
I said you
strong
was
black
5'11".
man. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
You're a
But he
strong
told me
The
I
black
was
tall
man.
nigga
5'9".
said you was short.
I can't believe
I
that
can't
my
help
nigga
I'm
told
tall.
me they'd be like this.
But come on now. What's the first thing most people say when they run up? Hey, yo, I don't care if you big or I don't care if you tall. Bro, I didn't say that. You said that.
Listen,
So you got
I'm
a problem.
5'4". As long as you taller than me, I'm good.
But wait, is he taller than you?
Yes,
is that
he
why you
is.
don't fuck with him?
I
Yes,
am.
he is.
I am.
Oh, no,
I
I'm
am.
good. I don't need a mic.
All I'm trying to say, my nigga, is you lost already. Just chill. Fall back. God damn, nigga can't even see the nigga already goddamn lost. Oh, hurt ass nigga trying to make me feel as hurt as
But
he.
he-
No, not at all.
I
But,
hate
you know,
him.
I'll be back.
What I'm saying is this.
I'm trying to
Let's
be a
get back
regular.
to it.
Yeah, let's get back to it.
We're talking about what? Are we talking about demanding too much?
Yeah.
Demanding too much.
Yup.
Now,
Yup.
before we move forward, when we say demanding too much, if you're caught up on a singular idea of what happiness is going to bring you, you're going to demand too much from your partner, whether you're male or female. So both perspectives matter. So I want to ask, since you were going off, Jimmy, you had a lot to say. I want to hear from Taj, and I want to hear from you.
Okay.
So,
What is it that, in your own perspective, if you have relationships that have failed or fell flat, what do you think you were putting a little too much sauce on or demanding too much from the other party?
So I'm gonna do a different angle, but it's the same deal, right? So if we're talking about from my perspective, I didn't demand enough. I didn't demand anything.
Wow.
And that was a problem. I was more about the person than I was about myself. So because of that, I felt unhappy and I didn't know why. So now you're getting an attitude or you're getting anger and I don't even know why you're getting that.
That's hell.
It is.
Let's keep it real. If you don't know, if you're having problems and issues and you have no clue where the issue is coming from, you are certainly in a hell, right? Because especially when the other person is like, I'm trying so goddamn hard.
But are you trying because you don't know where to try it? Because I'm not giving you anything to try it. You're basically trying to figure out. Essentially, what you're trying to do is figure out on your own how to make this relationship work. And that's one of the biggest problems today as it comes to relationship. People are trying to figure out on their own instead of with their partner
How do we make this relationship work? So now you got individuals trying to be the all-star of the team instead of, let me work with the team and try to figure out what's up. Because my way may be the right way to do it, but it may not be. It may have worked for you in the past, but it ain't going to work for you right here, right now, because I'm not that same man.
Everybody, every single person in this world is uniquely different, right?
Right.
We all have a different energy. We all have different things that we went through, different traumas. Right?
Right.
So if a lot of us, I'm a black man, right?
You sure? I thought you was like Spanish or some shit.
Well, my mother was born in Mexico.
Right.
Quintana Roo in Mexico.
Right.
My grandmother was born in Belize. My grandmother was abandoned by her family, and she had to deal with life on her own.
So you're
since
Mayan.
she was about 13.
So you're a Cardi B motherfucker.
So he's
essentially
Cardi B.
You a Cardi B motherfucker.
No, he's actually.
He's not claiming the black. Well, he's now
But
claiming
no,
the black.
I'm a black man. I'm a black man.
He's Mayan. You're an
Mayan,
Indian. You're an
Aztec. You know what I'm
Indian.
saying?
Wait, didn't Monsters like sell?
Olmec, which is before the Aztec and the Mayan.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Now,
He's Indian.
before I'll say this as far as my point of view. Let me say this real quick. My mother was born in Mexico, right? Her mother is from Belize. My grandfather is Indian, but he was also born in the British colonized version of India.
So you're Indian.
Thank you.
You're Indian.
Indian, but also
African.
and also what? Also Latino.
Yeah. No.
But wait, before you say that, Afro-Latino, this is the problem with a lot of the viewpoint that before you say anything, the viewpoint, because I can see my sister gearing up, the viewpoint that we have on Hispanics is that they are light-skinned, wavy hair.
Right.
And as soon as they start to make money, they separate from the
Can I say something?
No, let me finish first.
Okay.
When they start to make money, before they do anyway, they separate from black culture.
Sammy
Sosa, right? Any Hispanic person who's made money, they come into this country wanting to attain for whatever is.
Because the system and the narrative that was created that white is better. That's why.
In America.
With that being said, my advantage is this. I went to a school that was predominantly white, right? When I was in elementary school. When I was in elementary school, the advantage is this, that I was also abused in that system.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing when I was 3, 4, 5, and 6 years
dark
old.
Skin.
But I remember that I was taped to my chair
Yeah, you're dark
by
skin.
a white female teacher. I remember that I was choking on a huge chunk of. I'm so drunk, and this nigga just came in wild.
He scared the shit.
I
out
remember
of all of us.
I remember being taped to my chair when I was about 5 years old by a white teacher. I guess I was getting out of my chair too much. I was taped with duct tape to my chair. No white kids, no other kids were taped to their chair. Right? All I'm saying is this.
Because it is off topic, but we're going to get to the side note because it's a very important part.
We're talking about demanding too much.
Right.
Is the main topic. We're going to move on to something else. But I'm saying that multiculturalism paints your point of view.
Right.
Right? It infects your point of view.
Culture diffusion,
It stops you from coming to common ground with people that didn't go through what you went through.
Right.
Luckily for me, in '94, I came to Atlanta. And I was around people from the South. I was in Freaknik. And I also was around people that were not from the South. People from New York, Philly, Baltimore, Florida, everywhere else but Atlanta coming here and trying to find common ground.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're in a relationship, what are you trying to find?
Common ground.
Common ground, and you have to fight through the culture that my homegirl
the outside culture
was raised in, or her homeboy
friends
was raised in, or if it's a same-sex fucking relationship. I don't give a fuck. That's not my job to judge, nigga.
Right.
Whatever you were raised in is your culture. And you have to, in love, you have to raise above all of those things, because I'm not willing to lose you. Because, you know what? we all are fucked up. We're all sick.
Right.
That's the problem that we have in every society, is that we're not willing to go outside of our comfort zone and decide to love somebody, because if I was molested,
the trust issue.
if I was neglected, if I was unnurtured, if trust wasn't promoted, all these things created an inner dialogue that my ego is struggling to fight against in order to make itself whole. And all of those type of things lead to tears.
Yeah.
And most motherfuckers are not willing to cry.
Right.
They don't want to cry. They want to be vulnerable.
Right.
And that's what creates division, confusion, openings, doorways, and thresholds for lust, right? To be the strongest part in your relationship. So fucking other bitches,
that's what people want to know.
fucking niggas, fucking whoever you want to fuck.
Right, but
It
that's
fills
why
a void.
hey, so I'm gonna add just what you said right there, right? So you seen the situations where it's like somebody in a relationship and they cheat. Female's like, yo, he cheated with an ugly bitch too. She wasn't even cute like me, right?
He went off the deep end.
No, I went off deep. No, let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about that.
Go in, nigga.
You won't ask the question, okay, so why he chose her? You look at it for the physical looks. But what did she provide that you didn't provide? Right. Or what did she provide that you didn't communicate to your partner about?
And you can't say it was the box.
Wait,
You can't say it was the pussy. Because you ain't know it until you got to the pussy.
Right.
So you had to get to
What
that.
made you go to the point where you actually got to the pussy?
Exactly.
What was it?
Wait, are you
Don't say.
demanding, once
Go
again,
ahead.
just to get us back to the main topic, are you
Demanding too much.
male, female, straight, gay, trans, I don't give a
What is it?
fuck.
LGBTQRS TUV?
Are you
No disrespect.
Y'all are the worst.
Are you lesbian, bi, queer, trans, queer again somehow? Are you gay, straight, or
said
trying to
queer
figure out
again.
what works for
Niggas
you
took a
in your
vacation.
own matrix? Because no matter what we want to say, and I want to hear from you, Taj, I want to hear from you, Jimmy, I want to hear from you, Bonkers. No matter what you were raised on, Christianity, Muslim, any religion,
Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah Witness, because I was raised on Jehovah Witness.
Me too.
Right? So, whatever it is,
You know what's funny? I actually liked it.
wait, before
I
we continue,
love the
before we continue, whatever you were raised on, is that, are you looking to overcompensate and make up for what you were raised on, or is this what you felt the entire time?
Originally, yeah.
So
What is it? And you have to figure a way. Now that's when the true spark of whatever the universal, no matter whether you call it Buddha, Jesus, Allah, Ra, Amen Ra, Kali, no matter what you call God, what is your spirit saying? Fuck what you use as a name. This is what I connect to as an energy. Are you demanding too much from your partner to help you overcompensate for what society gave to you that you looked at as a bag of shit because it didn't truly encapsulate what you went through as a fucking individual, unique human being struggling to connect to true spirituality versus religion?
So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with that, right?
Gosh, go off.
I'm gonna go ahead and start off with that.
And then I want to hear from Bonkers.
All right, we're gonna get. So I'm gonna start off with that, right? So I would say early on I was brought up in the church, right? And then I end up pretty much kind of loathing the church because I started to see the indifference of what was being preached versus what was being practiced. So with that being stated, when it comes down to relationships, I never seen a good relationship. I don't know what that looks like. But because I don't know what that looks like, I based all my relationships up to a certain point more recently that relationship or that female was the one that was supposed to guide me into, not that I had any input, but that woman was supposed to guide me into what was a good relationship. If you had more experience than me, because I'm not a relationship guy. I got, 3 relationships under my belt. I'm 33 years old. Like, I'm not a relationship type person.
So I'm the youngest one here?
Yeah, you a baby.
You arrogant, egotistic son of a.
I was like I said, I was arrogant. So what you're saying, like I did put a lot of emphasis and I did demand a lot from my significant others as far as guide me, teach me. Right. Guide me, teach me, show me what it is to be in a relationship. But at the end of the day, more recently I realized, I know what the fuck I want in a relationship. I can say it.
All right, what is it?
What I want in a relationship, I want equal grounds. And what I mean by equal grounds is, I want to be able to talk. At the end of the day, we going to have disagreements. We going to argue. That is a part of life. You cannot get out of that. We're going to have bad days. We're going to have good days. But at the end of the day, we come to an understanding. We can agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, our love and what we're trying to accomplish at the end of all this is what's more important. Right. If we have kids together, they're what's more important. And seeing us in a better atmosphere as far as being able to communicate, being able to be mad at each other, show them, like, look, we ain't always got to show them that it's always good and happy time, because it's not that. That's not reality. You gonna see us get mad at each other, but guess what? We always see, I'm pretty sure everybody in this room has seen arguments from their parents or arguments from some adult figure, right? But how many times have you seen those same adult figures? Right. How many times have you seen a resolution? How many? How many times can you sit there and say...
If it wasn't New Year's.
Right. How many times have you sat there and said somebody apologized because they were wrong? How many times have you seen a female apologize and say that she was wrong? How many times have you seen a man apologize and wrong? As a kid, I ain't never seen none of that. So because of that, I have demanded more from the woman that I've been dealing with.
Wow. It's crazy that you said that. Because coming from a single parent home with my mom was very militant. She was very hard on me. And leaving her and then living with my grandmother, it was my grandmother and my step-grandfather who was blind. So he had to settle.
Book of Eli.
Right, he had to settle. But you know what's funny? He washed clothes. He did roofing. He was blind, like glaucoma blind. He cooked. He cleaned. He taught me that there was no excuse, not as a man, but there's no excuse as a person. That as long as there's love, there's always a way. Because like I said, coming from my mom, I didn't have that staple. With my mom, she was like, I didn't need a nigga. Right. I didn't need none of that. Being with my mom, she didn't teach me how to tap into myself as a female. So it was never emotional. It was always strategy. It was always material. It was always, getting ahead in life, because she was the immigrant who was trying to find her place in America.
Okay.
So
do you know what year she came over to America?
She came to America in, I think, like the 80s.
Okay.
Like 86.
What state was that? Is that New York?
New York, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
New York.
Because I was born in 88, and from like about, I think, 1986, she's been here. She's been in America and been in New York since then. So I am the first generation American. So I dealt with, and then going back and living with my grandmother, so I kind of dealt with that whole thing of being American and being able to express myself, and I'm at school and all of this stuff like that. But with my mom, it was a different story. I couldn't come home and tell her about, the things that I was feeling emotionally, because it would get shut down.
Right.
But I saw
Stay focused.
But I saw what a hard woman looked like, and I was like, I don't want to be like that.
You went through some shit, but you're not giving me all the fucking facts.
No,
the fuck you been through?
No, I'm being factual. Like, if you want to get ugly, I don't mind getting ugly.
Get ugly. That's the pretty part.
All right.
What are we drinking this for?
Okay, I know this podcast was about relationships and dealing with men,
relationships with you dealing with everybody.
And dealing with everybody. Okay, cool.
Everybody.
So, all right, a little bit of my story, if you don't mind.
Oh, man, lit.
No.
Let's get it, though.
Some of my story. Hi, guys. I'm Jymmi.
Hi.
Hey, Jymmi.
My middle name is...
Hey, Jymmi.
Right, my middle name is Crystal. I've been Crystal
Oh my God. Jesus.
growing up.
We getting around there.
Oh, fake ass Crystal.
Right, Crystal. That's
I got a
exactly
huge
me.
connection with the name Crystal. This is
You know
fucked
what's
up.
funny? Everybody has
First
a connection
prostitute.
with a Virgo named Crystal. And I want to apologize for those crystals because all the stories I've heard is sad. And a lot of those women were really, really hurt. And they fucked a lot of people up. But I'm a crystal that don't fuck people up. But it's all right. Anyway. Yo, what the fuck? This nigga's lit. He found an oyster in his back pocket. He's wilding. Anyway, so a little bit of my story growing up, and this is a very vulnerable part of my story.
Yo, this is better than Drink Champs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. We lit.
Are you ready? Yes, we are. Okay.
Drink champs, nigga.
Hey,
So
we
y'all
love
ready?
you, though, but
No
Y'all
industry.
ready to hear
Real
my
niggas,
story?
Nigga. Ain't no relationships, nigga. Fuck them niggas.
Are we about?
Okay,
Go
a
off,
little
go
bit
off,
of my
go.
story.
You better go into like from when you was a baby all the way
Yeah,
up
from
to
a
this point.
baby, from a little girl.
We got enough time.
I
for
had
that?
a single mother. I was raised by a single mother, and my oldest brother really raised me, but it kind of was ugly, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I've been being molested from the age of 3 years old all the way to 8 years old
by who?
by my oldest brother, the one who braided my hair, the one who beated up my bullies, the one who took me to school, the one who fed me when my mom wasn't there and helped me with my homework. So psychologically, I should be fucked up. But let me tell you the power of God and the power of choices.
Damn, I'm sorry to hear that. That's crazy.
I'm not sorry.
That's crazy.
I'm not sorry to hear that because I wouldn't be the woman that I am today without these you remember I was telling you about colors? Mm. I was telling him earlier about curse words are only colors to things. They're colorful words.
Okay, right.
They can be dark or they can be light.
Right.
They determine the intensification
Right.
of what you're saying.
Right. Intention.
Right.
But the road to hell is littered with good intentions.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, being that girl who, her brother was the person, like I said, who braided her hair, who beated up her bullies, who fed her, who helped her with her homework, and her mother was working. And then she finally told her mother what was happening, and her mother didn't believe her. Because her mother didn't want 4 kids. Her mother only wanted that one boy.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Who was just, I guess it's a thing. I don't know what it was for her.
The boy represents fighting against it and all that.
But it's a Caribbean thing where Caribbean mothers identify and love their male children more than they love their female children.
Right.
And then the female children have to guess through life, and then it's a repetitive thing. But I chose not to. I made a choice. I said, hey, God, I'm going to pray for wisdom and understanding because I want to be better. My favorite people in the Bible was Solomon and Ruth and Esther. Beauty, wisdom, and integrity and toil and process.
Side note, Solomon had a signet ring, and Solomon had control over the spirits.
And his wife was what?
Nefertiti, but he had the Queen of Sheba. He had the Queen of Black Hearts.
Bethesda.
Nefertiti.
Right.
You never had titties.
Stupid. So my choices, I chose to be who I am today.
Okay.
And God allowed me because I wasn't crazy for wanting to be this woman that I am today. That's why I call myself a phoenix.
Okay.
Because patience is everything. And we're talking about a lot of topics and we're talking about a lot of things and a lot of conversations that are necessary. And
most likely this whole podcast is going to require a part 2 and maybe a part 3 because we have to get past a lot of different things to kind of tap into.
It's like the brainstorm. It's like you're brainstorming, and then we're going to get to the bottom line. And let's talk about the bottom line into the change.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I totally appreciate you guys, and I appreciate this.
Appreciate you.
Because
mainly me.
I'm a lover of change. I'm gonna tell you right now, in my day-to-day, I cannot stand routine. I don't like. I am a different being. Period. I don't like routine. I like change. I love getting up and doing different shit every day, or even helping somebody to see different. The only thing that I like that's routine is helping people and loving people. You get what I'm saying? You know how people be like, oh, I hate people. No, I love people. I'm on this fucking earth and I want to be the greatest human, period. And I think I do my best and I try my best. I'm not perfect to exude that in every aspect of life. And this is why maybe dating in Atlanta sucks for me.
Dating, period,
I'm consistently trying to elevate myself and change the things that I did yesterday that wasn't good for me, that wouldn't be good for me today. You get what I'm saying? It's a different level and it's a different meaning. And people say that that's how it should be, but people don't live that shit.
You're right.
That's the problem I got with people today. Like, niggas will be on social media and they will put themselves up and they will say certain things and all of this stuff, but they don't live that shit. That's a problem. Even if it's wild, even if it's fucking crazy, live that shit. Be true to who you are and be real. You get what I'm saying? And I'm going to be honest with you. That's the bottom line of my story. I live exactly the things that I say. So even if they're different, I live that. That's why sometimes it's hard for me to defend a certain demographic or point of view of people because I live differently. Right. Like a lot of us as women have a struggle with
coming to terms with what the other side is saying,
or they have difficulty expressing themselves in a certain way and understanding that it's okay if somebody don't understand that
if somebody
shit.
Judges you,
it's okay if somebody judges you for that shit. You have to unapologetically be yourself. That's why if we're talking about the conversation of yo, Selvin just spilt his whole drink on himself. Now he look like a baby who needs a bib.
Right.
Give him a bib.
He looked like a project chick from Brooklyn. Project Baby.
Yo, J.O.D.
With the red icy. With the red icy drips on their little white shirts.
My nigga, you lucky that shit look like iced tea. You be alright.
Hey, yo, real quick.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I feel like just speaking out for women and preferably black women dealing with black men or just dealing with men, period. The reasons why we have a hard time maybe sitting and listening to them expressing themselves emotionally because it's change, it's different. And we're so accustomed to the runway of our own struggles and the things that we struggle with that we don't leave room for other people to say how they feel. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like we need to establish, I know a lot of women be like, what do you mean patience? We fucking got patience. We bear your children. We do all of this stuff. And it's absolutely true, but mentally it's different mentally.
Yeah.
Because mentally, once you have a sense of patience, you would have an understanding of what the other person is saying or their plight, and then you'll be able to operate as such.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
That's the main thing between a man and a woman is misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying?
Agree to disagree.
Because
understanding that not everybody's gonna fuck with what you're saying, but that's okay.
it's okay.
yeah, that's
It's
perfectly
absolutely
fine.
okay.
That's what's
But
actually
at least try
supposed
to
be that way.
understand what I'm saying.
Exactly.
At least. At the very least.
Find, even if it's find a common denominator so
Look,
that you get the narrative at
we
least.
all, every single person on this planet, regardless of what you are, your sex, gender, your sexual preference, everybody is on their own unique journey. They're on their own unique path. And at the end of the day, you know what matters the most is the bridges that I can meet you on in order for me to bring better understanding of not what I feel, to be able to understand and interpret what you feel and what you've been through, and the fact that you have been through different things that I have no idea about.
Right.
And if I can put my own personal preferences and quote unquote bullshit to the side, I can open up the way for more understanding for things that I haven't experienced.
Amen.
Right.
All right, y'all. We're going to take a little quick break. You know what I'm saying? Holla at our sponsors real quick. Quick word for our sponsors. We'll be right back, all right? We fucked up. It's the Cap City Podcast. We'll be right back, all right? Come on.
Peace. Last topic that we were on was demanding too much. There's a list of 11 topics from an article I was reading.
Yeah?
About the 11 toxic double standards in relationships.
What are those?
Should I start from the top?
Yeah, just go.
All right, just run through them real quick, and then we're going to
Okay,
come
I'll
back
run
to
through them
it.
real quick.
We took a
right?
little break, so.
Number 1, making the first move. Number 2, being possessive about your partner. Number 3, hiding your feelings. Number 4, bringing up insecurities. Number 5, which is where we left off, which is demanding too much. Number 6, double standards in household chores. Number 7, about yelling at each other. Number 8, the sex game.
Why you have to say it like that?
Because that's very, very important. Number 9,
Sex.
faking stuff. Once again, number 9, faking stuff. You know how your girl will be like, I'm on my period. Okay, number 10,
She just don't want to fuck.
hanging out with the boys.
If your girlfriend is lying about being on her period and not telling you she don't want to do it, there's something. There's
That means you
something
probably got a
wrong.
little dick.
And she's shit. She's corny. Because why do I
She's
have to
corny.
lie to my man about my pussy?
Facts.
Right. Facts. Facts.
But that don't excuse the fact that he might have a little dick.
Or he
Yeah,
might not-
but then he won't be my man.
But if he,
That's
okay,
a fact,
so,
too.
On the other end, not talking about myself. Hold on, let me get this.
I'm not finished with the actual topic, but go off.
No, I just want
Not
to.
talking
No, you know what? I'm
about
gonna let you, listen, let me say it real quick. So, even with that stated, so there are men out there.
But you
know-
could be beast fucking chicks, and they still might get on some shit with you because they're
Right.
emotionally
right.
attacked
It's like,
on
yo,
some
but my
emotional
thing is like you say beast fucking like, and this is going with the women right now, right?
meaning
You know-
that you're making them squirt every chance.
right, but they
get.
still cannot be. They may still not be satisfied with that, right?
Emotional, unsatisfied.
Right, emotional satisfied. So it's like if you're not, because women are more emotional creatures. So when you talk about the physical aspect, the sex ain't gonna be shit if they mentally ain't in it.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, there's a difference between. I'm going to move through the rest of the topics, but there's a
Yeah,
difference between gratification and satisfaction.
You right?
Right? Gratification is instant. Gratification.
He put in the effort.
Light skinned nigga. Gratification is instant, right? Watching porn, getting the number.
Or
right? Oh, she sucked my dick on the first day. That's gratification. Satisfaction is, yo, you know what? I told her all my deepest, darkest, nastiest fantasies, and she's consistently showing up to go.
So
there's
one-
still wait. There's still more. I'm gonna hook you up with this.
from a female standpoint,
But
from
there's
a male
still more-
standpoint.
wait,
So
let me-
one
let me
can't be
move forward with
satisfied
subject.
from the getting the number, from the getting sucked off the first day.
No,
like
that's
one can't be
gratification.
satisfied.
That's gratification.
Okay.
It's gratification.
All right, okay.
So
okay.
you telling me
But this
nobody can be satisfied from those?
No,
That's bullshit.
that's not bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Gratification.
There's plenty of men out there that'll get the number and won't even call a bitch.
That because you
Is
want to
that
know why?
gratification or is that
If he was
satisfaction?
satisfied, he would then end his quest for every single bitch and focus on her. Gratification means in that moment, I was able to.
instant gratification?
Gratification, what we call it, instant, whatever it is. Gratification.
That's two different things.
gratification
Something
is
that's
definitely
gratifying. Wait. Something that's gratifying is something that illuminates you and maximizes you
Right.
in that instance. But the moment that circumstance is removed, you do not have satisfaction. Even if your whole world was built off of, you know what? When I get the number with no real, resistance from that kind of chick, when I get her number, that's gonna really validate me as a person that's looking to be gratified.
Right.
And satisfaction means, you know what? Okay, I hollered at her. She's so dope. I interacted with her. She cool as fuck. I interacted with her. She said, you know what makes you dope as fuck? XYZ. These other niggas ain't got none of that shit.
Oh.
I'm going out of my way to let you know these other niggas ain't really got what you trying to give me. And
What
you
if there's
only
nothing
and you
special about you?
But hold on. All right, so this can go into a whole nother round. What's the other list that we're at right now? Let's finish the list.
Okay, the rest of the list is doing stuff she likes. Right? That's number 12. Well, that's number 11. That's where we left off at. Doing stuff she likes. Now, the difference between gratification and satisfaction is that gratification only is meant for you. This gratifies me. It makes me feel like I can rise above my own personal internal struggle. But it doesn't satisfy me where I land, where I've been living at, what I thought my whole world was supposed to be based off of. Because you can get Kim Kardashian's number, and you can be gratified, and she's married to Kanye, and you're not satisfied until the tabloids like, Kanye's a fag, and she's entertaining this other nigga. That's when you start to get access to satisfaction. Gratification is just a number. It's just something that you can refer to.
So you basically say gratification is nothing more than the selfishness within our own selves to say that, okay, well, I did this, so this makes me feel better. However, the other word you used, what was the other word? Satisfaction, which can still be selfish, but it's kind of more so in a more positive light in the sense of, okay, well, I'm satisfied because, hey, I helped out a homeless person today. I gave them $5. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with that $5, but, hey, you know what? I felt good because I gave them $5. Whatever for what, you know what I'm saying? They said they needed for food, we gave them for food. All right, so my girl say she want me to go shopping with her. I don't want to go shopping with her because I don't want to walk around the same damn stores 3 or 4 fucking times all day. But I'm going to go because I'm satisfied in knowing that she's happy that I'm with her because she wanted me with her, right? So you can look at it in the sense of gratification could be seen as selfish, but it is more so viewed as selfish, whereas satisfaction can definitely be viewed as both, but could be more so in the sense of satisfaction from what you're getting out of it as it pertains to somebody else.
Okay, now what we want to do is we want to get the female perspective on this topic. So gratification versus satisfaction.
Okay, I do believe that gratification is more of a selfish thing. Satisfaction is more of a settling thing. To be gratified is to, okay, boom, like you said, this makes me feel happy or whatever the case may be because it makes me feel good. Fuck how it makes somebody else feel. It defines me. Because that's what I think makes that word a thing. It's a defining word. Satisfaction means like, I'm okay with this. I don't have to be extremely happy. I don't have to be extremely sad about. I'm okay with that. I'm satisfied. I don't need any more. It's enough. Satisfaction means enough. And just listening to you guys, my thing is just like the scenario you gave about, you know, shopping around and shit like that. You don't want to go around to a million stores, but maybe in between that, you having a conversation with her or you having fun with her, you might not even see that you walking around to these 4, 5, 7 stores that you ain't want to fucking go into. You understand what I'm saying? Because now you're focused on the spending time aspect because she done made it fun for you to do that. You've hated shopping, but going shopping with her is fun because she makes it fun for you. She may be focused on you. Hey, what do you look like? What do you like to wear? And took you to a store where you like certain shit. You get what I'm saying? Now the focus is on you. So now you're not saying, "Oh, I don't like going around the 4, 5, 7 stores. That's what she like." No, you now you kind of fucked yourself up in the head because you're like, "I actually like this shit," because the attention was on you the right way.
Okay.
So sometimes it's almost like, yeah, we don't even know what gratifies us or satisfies us until we spend that time with the right person.
So that speaks to the fact that if you're not self-aware, before you come into a situation where you need to be paying attention to your partner.
Some people don't even know that.
But
Some
that's
people
my
feel.
point.
Some people would feel like they're already self-aware, but this might be a new thing.
And when you're in a relationship, it requires you and the other person working actively towards coming to the bridge.
Yeah, they have to be able to enjoy themselves together, period. So that no matter where they're at, yeah, that's what I mean. Like they have to enjoy each other, period. So that no matter where they're at or what they do, it's always going to be fun because they're with that person. That makes it fun.
So regardless of where the double standard is in the relationship, that is a toxic thing that as you progress through the relationship, you're supposed to address these things so that you can outweigh the power that that toxic situation has promoted to our conscious, to our spirituality, to our physical world. So I guess, Bonkers, you're married. You've been through a lot. We've all been through a lot. But as far as a married person, what has been the biggest thing that's helped you to kind of rise above some of the toxicity that's extremely hard to avoid?
In marriage?
In marriage, yeah, definitely. Since the marriage is the high point of a
I think this has to do with all relationships, but it especially comes out when you're married because it kind of like amplifies all the situations when you're married. But I feel like it's becoming selfless, you know what I'm saying? And like learning to love unconditionally, which is like it's one of the hardest things to do, and it's not really promoted in today's society. It's like, okay, you fuck up, I'm done with you, I'm moving on to the next. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really wants to work through issues and like, you know what I'm saying, and actually work through the tough things. You know what I'm saying? The real hard things. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. It's easy. It's always easy for men and women to get ghosts, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because they don't know, first of all, they don't know how to talk. Right. They don't know how to communicate, like, look, this is bothering me. Now, let me explain to you why this is bothering me. And explain it to a way, just like a teacher does to a kid. If I try to explain it to you one way and it doesn't work, then I failed. I got to figure out a way to get you to understand what I'm saying. And in turn, you got to be listening and you got to want to receive what I'm saying. Because if you don't want to receive it, no matter how I say it to you, it doesn't matter.
It's going to fall on deaf ears.
Right. So now we're at this place where I'm talking to you and I'm trying to explain, but you're not trying to hear it because you feel like it's an attack. You feel like I'm attacking you versus, yo, okay, let me really try to hear what you try to say. You can't fix yourself by yourself in a relationship.
Right.
Anybody that's in a relationship, yo, you cannot fix yourself by yourself. If you're not listening to your partner on the stuff that they're saying that is an issue, really truly evaluating it, then you're failing at your relationship and it's not going to last.
Okay. So
that's dope, bro.
I definitely want to say that that's definitely a great point of view. Without the other person's perspective, no matter what your intentions are, you're going to end up falling short because you're only thinking about yourself, right? So, Jimmy, as a female, what's your point of view on that? Especially when you realize, as you gather your thoughts, that what we're taught in society is that the man is the head of the household, and that the woman is meant to follow the leader and, of course, accentuate the roles, right? What is the most important thing that men are missing at the top of a relationship, at the intro to the album? What are they missing out on?
I agree. On the flip side, actually paying attention to detail of what's going on with their partner. Because if you don't pay attention to detail, then it's one of those situations that it doesn't become special. It doesn't become a thing. It's, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just like you have to pay attention to detail, and you have to pay attention, period, to your partner to understand what's going on, understand how to fix whatever's going on, or be able to alter your intentions to suit. Because if you don't, it's gonna go to shit, and it's gonna be a big shit show, and then it's gonna feel like a waste of time, and it's not gonna be it's not even gonna be a learning patch for you. You're gonna move on with the same incentives, and you're gonna be failing through life in all of the relationships you acquire, whether it's an intimate one or not. You have to pay attention to detail. You have to look at the things that make shit pop. Or you know what I'm saying, make shit become active. Some things become active or change or pay attention to the things that affect, even what you're doing. And maybe doing that will help the situation, because it all goes back to what we started talking about, is connection. What makes you want to, why are you here? What is your bottom line? Why do you love this person, or why do you want to be with this person? It's all connection. How deep is your connection? What are you paying attention to? Where are you trying to go? Right. So definitely paying attention to detail. And as a woman, we are complex beings, and there's a lot to us. There's a lot to our minds. But obviously, God created a man here that's able to understand us. So yeah, we're complex, but we're not that complex, or we're not that crazy that a man can't get us, because obviously that's our puzzle piece to connect to us. So the thing is get your hands dirty. Get busy.
Now
work.
let me say this. I don't want to cut you off because you're making a great point. We've been on this topic, these different topics that kind of blend into all of them together, right? So we're going to end up wrapping this up soon. One thing I want to talk about, and I felt like we were going to end up having to do a part 2, right? So we will come back and do a part 2. One thing I want to talk about before we go on is how men cheat versus how women cheat. Okay, so we're going to use about, what do you think, Bonk? Another 10 more minutes, and then we're going to call it? Okay. So, in my opinion, how women cheat versus how men cheat plays out like this, and it connects to everything we've been saying. When a man cheats, he's like, yeah, she's not really like giving me that sloppy toppy, disrespect herself,
incompetent,
getting spit and sperm all over her face, like I need her to.
He OD'd.
Right. No, this is how I feel sober. She's not giving me all that unabandoned, opposite of the nun, like, that I need her to do.
Glack, glack, glack.
Right?
The glack, glack.
I need her to give me that straight up glack, glack, wetty, wetty.
If you ain't giving the glack, glack, you ain't doing it right.
If you're not making a glacky sound, you're fucking up.
But are you communicating that, though?
But wait, before you get into that,
no, man.
How men cheat versus how women cheat. Now, men cheat.
They ain't like that, Jimmy?
Men cheat based on what? Something physical.
What do you know about funny?
Women, when by the time a man will cheat, hold on, everybody got me?
I'm listening.
When a man cheats, he's gonna go, let me get with this bitch. She got this one attribute that my girl don't got. and she nasty and she giving into my nastiness. But when a woman, and I'm gonna go fuck her, and I'm gonna go back to my girl. When a woman cheats, she's moving on. And generally, when a woman cheats,
I'm fed up.
She's already beyond the emotional and the physical markers that you haven't hit. Facts. A man is only looking for instant gratification.
Even when emotional shit isn't there.
Even though they have emotional shit, different things that they haven't gotten from her, they're still looking for a physical expression of those things, right? Lust over love. A woman is looking for love. A man's looking to express his lust. So is there a key difference that plays out in serious relationships as to how a man cheats versus how a woman cheats? Taj, and then whoever's going to go first.
Yeah, so I just want to say this real quick, right? So, because my thought process, I have to get in that to the next one as far as about cheating, but as it pertains to like men, and like I said, I was talking about this before, right? So anytime you typically see a man cheat, 9 out of 10 times, and again, I say 9 out of 10 times, the female that they're cheating with is not even on the same physical level of the woman that they're with now.
Right.
Why is that? Because they're only dealing with that woman because either they can't communicate what the issue is that they're having with their spouse or their significant other.
Your ass ain't fat enough.
Or they've explained it. They've tried talking about it, and the woman herself is not adjusting to what he is asking for. That's in my opinion, all right? So when you talk about a female aspect, it is on a more emotional tip because when we think about women cheating, it's to the sense of, all right, so what the fuck are you getting from him that you're not getting from me, right? In the same sense as a man, right? But then it goes into... So if all we ever hear is females are emotional creatures and females typically only cheat on an emotional standpoint, then that means that the person that you're cheating with, you basically are now giving that person time. You are now trying to find ways to be around that person more than you're trying to be around the person that you're with. And like I said before, I can go into that in a whole different segment and explain this whole cheating thing because I think it goes a little bit deeper than the actual physical act of having sex with somebody else. It's definitely deeper than that. The act itself is something, and I think it is something negative. But to lump it in the same thing as cheating, the mentality to go to somebody else and have sex with somebody else for a man and a woman is different. A man, you're missing something. And as I said before, it's either you can't communicate it or you try to communicate it and it's still not getting served. A woman, on the other aspect, when she's finally fed up and she's decided to cheat, is on an emotional level. And that person that she's fucking with, 9 out of 10 times, she's doing everything that she can to spend as much time with that motherfucker as she can. And she gonna do it smooth where it don't even seem like you even, like, she gonna make it like clockwork where, you don't even see the shit. You don't even see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my take on it real quick. That's my take on it.
Okay, we're going to get the female perspective on this.
Okay, so across the board, why fucking people cheat is because there's a disconnect somewhere and there's a lacking somewhere. A woman, yes, emotionally, she will go to her wit's end before she goes and she cheats. A man, he won't even wait that far. He'll just see what it is from jump, and he'll be like, you know what, let me go get this over here, but my girl covers this, that, da-da-da-da-da, and I'm going to still keep her. Either way, on both ends, it's fucked up and it's wrong. If you gonna get with somebody that you fucking disconnected with, or eventually there's parts of a relationship where you're disconnected with them and you're not trying to work that out, that shit is on you, how the fuck that ends out. I know personally I cannot be with somebody that I am disconnected with. And when you connected to somebody, son, you really fucking understand and you know your connection with that person. You could even feel when they're off.
Right. It's that energy. You can
You can feel that shit. And if you allow that shit to live, that is your fucking fault.
Facts.
No shade. Even if they go off and cheat, it's not your fault that they cheated, but it's your fault for not acknowledging that there's a disconnect and you're not communicating that.
So let me just ask you this then. So what if you get into a situation, and I'm using my own experience recently when I ask this question. What if you realize there's something off? You don't know how to address that something's off, but you know there's something off. You can see there's something off. But in trying to have a conversation about it, it comes off as either you feel as though it's an attack, or you know exactly what the fuck that person's talking about, but you're too ashamed to actually say this is what it really is, because you either think you're doing the person a favor by sparing their feelings and not talking to them, which I really don't understand. How the fuck you try to spare somebody's feelings versus being honest with them to help them grow? Like, you're gonna keep them weak? You see what I'm saying? So that's my question to you.
You gotta think about the bottom line. You gotta choose what your bottom line is. You wanna get to the truth, or you wanna stay in a lie? Period. That's what it is. You have to understand, at the end of the day, it's the bottom line that's gonna carry the narrative. What do you want out of this situation? Do you want clarity and understanding of where this person is? Or do you want to stay in a lie? Do you want to keep it going and hopefully it unveils itself? No. You have to grip your fucking nuts, toughen the fuck up, and reach your bottom line. And that is, what is going on? I cannot move forward. Even if you have to bring it to the deep end, to the trenches, for you to know what's going, that's what you got to do, because at the end of the day, you have to evaluate, how much do you love this person? And how much do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to stay in a hurt situation, knowing that your gut tells you that there's something wrong? You get what I'm saying? You have to choose at the end of the day, because you have to understand that either way, there's going to be a heartbreak. Whether it is something or not, even the conversation within itself is tough. And it's going to be a heartbreak. It's going to be tough. It's just what it is. You cannot omit or evade the hurt. You can't. It's going to be hurtful no matter what. But you have to think about the ultimate outcome. You get what I'm saying? And the ultimate outcome is, do you want the truth, or do you want to stay in a lie?
Okay. Now, what I want to say is this. We talked about personality over pussy. Personality is far more important to a guy, a real nigga.
Real man, facts, real man.
Regardless of your race, personality is going to outlast pussy.
Right.
So if you don't have a personality, if you can't be my friend,
facts,
right? Whether you're telling me what I want to hear, or what's dope about me, or whatever in between, it's gonna create a conflict inside of me, because what differentiates you from the bitch at Family Dollar?
So I got a question.
With the fatty and
so I got a question.
Right.
What motivated you to get in a relationship with this woman, knowing all of that?
Well, once again, what differentiates?
Woman change, man.
What differentiates?
Yeah, we go through changes, but you get inklings from the beginning.
Wait. When I asked that question, what you did was you reversed it. You didn't answer the question. My question is, what differentiates you? And it's not even a question, it's more of a statement. We don't even have to even talk about it. What differentiates you from the average broad or lady, woman, goddess, whatever, from the one who's willing to meet me at my level? Because so many men are out here willing to meet a woman at her level.
That's not true.
No. I said so many. I didn't say all of them. I said there are so many more. There are so many more than what is highlighted,
projected,
and projected to your mindset via society and media,
Social media.
there's so many more men who are willing to go, yeah, you know what, my homie done dealt with you. My homie's homeboy said he kind of knows you, but you know what? Like, I'm trying to like find like a real one, and that nigga, I know he ain't shit, so that's probably why he couldn't find the real one inside of you. Let me see what's up with you for myself.
First of all, you need to leave your hometown.
Let me rise above.
Because that's the chick.
Ain't no hometowns no more. This is
what?
where everybody thinks fucked up. Everybody thinks everything has to be so specifically circumstantial.
Yeah, but the thing
It's
is,
not.
you meet so
We
many
live in the
people in a
world.
day. So like that, I'm not saying that your narrative doesn't carry, but it's just saying like you just what it sounds like to me. It sounds like you talking to one girl who talked to all your niggas,
But
which is just like what?
No. So let me say this right here, right? Everybody got a pass, right? So because at the end of the day, unless you getting with a virgin, at the end of the day,
He called you a
Right.
virgin.
no, I'm saying unless you get
That's
with
a fact.
unless you getting with a virgin, let's be honest and be clear here. And this is
Everybody has a past.
right.
in
Everybody got
history.
a pass,
Right.
and this is where shit starts getting fucked up and where it gets with double standard. Because if I ask a female her sex count, me personally, me today, I don't give a fuck how many people she fucked with before me.
Right.
It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, what I want to know is, I want to see what you've learned from the people that you dealt with. I want to see how much you've grew from the people that you dealt with, because we get to this notion that if a female or a male tells us, tell them their sex number, if you decide to go into this realm, which if you go into that realm, right, the fuck does it matter? Because we can clear all this shit up at the end of the day by going down to the testing center and go get in the test. Do you have anything? No. Do you have anything?
You
No.
slut.
Right. But now I'm judging you. I'm judging you, right? Off of some shit that I can't control. I can't control who the fuck you been with. And why the fuck do I even care? Because right now you're dealing with me. So unless you show me something that proves to me that, okay, so you did all this shit and there's a reason why you did
You're
all this
not
shit.
worthy of my
Right.
time.
You're not worthy of my time. What the fuck are we talking about?
Whether you're the male or the female in the scenario,
Exactly.
At the end of the day, is a lot of shit going on. There's not really one answer. If you aren't worthy of my time based on my series of experiences, that's how I feel. Where regret, sadness, and all that depression comes in is when you feel like you had a bias based on your own experiences. And was I not willing to meet somebody at their level when I'm over here complaining about somebody that can't meet me at my level? Maybe I am jaded. Maybe my perspective is fixed, and I'm looking for somebody that can bring the water to allow me to see. Since water can take different states, it can be ice, it can be liquid, it can be gas, it can be vapor. And what you have to do is you have to invite some metaphysics or different states of consciousness into your relationships, whether they're relationships that are for business, relationships that are based on love, or even people that you have no true, real connection with outside of them saying, you know what, God told me to tell you this. Here's what I went through. There's a whole lot going on.
That God said, talk again.
God said, right? So you can't discount just one versus the other because you're a human being. Because you have a physical part, you have a spiritual part, and you have the unknowable part. So which one?
But okay, so
This is why it's going to be a part two, because which one is the one that is guiding your life or your consciousness? Is it you, or is it society, or is it God trying to go, listen, I am so focused on helping you obliterate your ideology that's connected to your false self that I have to kind of help you kill your false self so you can realize and have revelations to tap into your true self. And that's why you haven't found that one yet. No matter how woke you are, no matter how many books you read, documentaries, and
But
situations
you gotta remember, if you want to talk about that whole topic of finding the one, it's just like the truth. It's almost like the Bible says the truth has to be sought.
You gotta address.
You have to look for that shit. You get what I'm saying?
But
In the
also,
first place, you
what
have to
you're
look for
seeking-
that shit.
what you are seeking
is yourself.
Your
I gotta say this real
So-
quick.
Yeah.
What you are seeking is seeking you. No matter what it
Yeah.
is,
24.
what
So
you
you
are
have to
seeking
find
is
right.
seeking you.
So you have to
But you
find
have to know
yourself.
yourself.
Right.
You gotta know
And
yourself
then
first.
and then And then not only knowing yourself, a part of knowing yourself is putting yourself in situations where you can flourish. Even if you don't control the flourishing, you do your best to put yourself in positions to flourish. Right. And I feel like
experience different things. They
exactly.
They
just want to go and that's it. Right. So coming to that point that you were saying, it's just like at the end of the day, yo, nobody's perfect. You have to go through this very thing called process. You have to love what that is. To make it as surface as possible, you have the word dating. Understand that dating is going to be a waste of fucking time. Okay. And understand that dating, you can profit as well when you do profit. Yeah. But at the same time, you have to understand that you're wagering time for all of these other things. That's your leverage. You're leveraging time for your reward of getting exactly what you actually want and whatever that is. But at the same time, you just gotta understand that it's a part of it. You get what I'm saying? And look, coming to that, yeah. Say what you're saying.
What I'm gonna say is this whole topic, because it's not one thing, it's multifaceted.
Right.
Like a diamond, like any true jewel, right? So what I know we need to do is we have to come back for a part 2, because this was more like kind of getting out the point of views.
Right.
Right? Yeah. The different things that we've experienced through 4, 5, 10, 6, 7 relationships that kind of exposed us to other people's inner nature, and also way more importantly, our own, and how we are so counterculture even to ourselves. So I want to invite all of you to come back for us to really dive deep in this in part 2. So we're gonna leave it off here simply because we don't want to beat anybody over the head with our differing point of views, and I want us to kind of chew on this and come back, because in any true situation where you're dealing with actual human beings and different circumstances, you have to kind of leave a little bit of breathing room to see the other side and come further to the bridge. Bonk, how do you feel about it?
Yeah. We out here. It's Cap City.
You
know what I'm saying?
Episode 4.
Cap City, J Bizzle. You know what I'm saying? Cap City Most. Anyways, yeah, we going to come back for part 2. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for coming to the show, Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? Taj.
Jims, Taj.
You know what I'm saying? Let's get a last little
plug your socials real quick, and we'll come back for part 2.
All right.
Taj, go ahead, brother.
No, ladies first. Ladies first.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so yeah, my social media is Jymmi_Helix. That's JYMMI_HELIX.
Her situation is she's single. That's what she's about to say. Her situation. You heard that part, right?
For now.
Oh, shut up.
Just for right now.
Yeah, so me, you know what I'm saying? You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at TAJNARANJA. That's Mr. Taj-naranja. You know what I'm saying? Catch me on a few, you know what I'm saying? Couple shows. First season of Atlanta, episode 10, The Jacket. I Am Homicide. What Men Want. Quick sneeze scene. You heard me talk for a little second. Quick sneeze, so don't sneeze. Yeah, at you. Literally. Like,
wipe your boogers.
Soon as...
Bless you.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you know what I'm saying? I thank you for having me. I think this has definitely been an eye-opener. I think that I appreciate Jimmy for coming on here, giving that female point of view. And, I can't wait for the next one, because there's a lot of things we got to talk about. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things we got to talk about.
All right. So, real quick, when y'all be free again to come back and do this?
You just... we're going to...
Set it up?
Listen, you just tell me the time. I will say typically in the afternoons is good for me if you're talking about the weekday, but if you're talking about the weekend on, like a Sunday, I'm free all day on Sundays. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm good.
Okay, and guys, I'm inviting you out to my event on Saturday. It's called Who Is She?
Mm-hmm.
So it's for
she got a fatty?
international. Shut up.
she
Why you
single?
worried?
Is she?
I'm just saying. I'm asking
Married
for a
man.
man. I'm asking for a man.
Thank you.
I'm asking
I'ma
for a
tell your
friend.
wife.
I'm asking for a friend. Hopefully she don't hear this.
So it's called. It's a celebration of International Women's Month, and we have a couple of vendors, and we got some performances, male and female.
Where's this at?
acts. It's at my house.
Okay. Where?
Oh, that
Marietta?
sounds perfect.
Yeah, in Marietta. Yeah. So
Can I perform?
if you want to,
I got a song. I got a hit record.
it's not an open mic. Watch your mouth.
Hey, yo, watch you talk to me. Yo, watch you talk. Like
Part two coming soon.
It's
On
an
the next
actual
episode of-
event.
On the next episode of Pond City.
Don't end up on a diss track. That's all I'm saying.
Damn. Well, thank you. I want to thank you all for coming through because this was a great conversation and we aren't finished.
Long-winded, but great.
Yeah, we didn't really get anywhere, but we got some
It's
places.
the liquor, that's why.
Yeah. We might have to do
Nah,
a fully...
don't say that. We got somewhere. I'm sure somebody's gonna hear this. and walk away
You
with
know
a
what
lot
it
of
was?
gems.
We definitely, I feel like this one showed exactly who everyone was and their point of views, like you were saying, and how we all think. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Our personalities came out in this one. So now we can definitely focus on topics and, our listeners can now our listeners can know who is who and what is what, and they'll know what they're getting.
Speaking of our listeners, I'm saying y'all could help us go with support. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Click
share,
the link.
subscribe.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe. Plus, we got the link in the bio. So you can
And the Bible. It's a link in the Bible, too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you can, support,
He's still
help
in
us,
church.
help us to keep going. You know what I'm saying? I'll put that in the description. So we're gonna keep it moving, man. Cap City J Bizzle.
It's Cap City Cell
Know
in
what
this
I'm saying?
bitch.
It's the Cap City Podcast, man.
Extra.
We out of here, man. Let's get it.
Super extra.
One.
Erase you from the podcast.